It's a brand new season for Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. A topical white smoke coming from the chimneys as we look at the Ardennes roller coaster. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Spa-Francorchamps here in the glorious sunshine in the Ardennes forest. We are getting ready. We can hardly contain ourselves for the brand new season, the 13th season of Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. We've just seen last year's champion in this wonderful series finish on the podium in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. It says everything about this championship. It's one that launches drivers on their career. As we look at this circuit, a little over 7 kilometers around it is a long old stretch, and that's the most feared corner straight combination in the world of motorsport. Eau Rouge and Raidillon. You think that looks flat? It's not very steep. Try running up it. In real life, it is a massive climb. It takes courage to keep your foot buried on the accelerator as you head up over that blind crest at this legendary circuit. There is an elevation change of 102 meters on this circuit. That's higher than Big Ben for those of you that have been to London, but it is a 25% gradient of Eau Rouge leading to Raidillon, and it is the scene for the opening race of the season. The first of 2 races here this weekend in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, a 12-race season. But here, part of the World Endurance Championship package for this event. There's a big crowd here. There's going to be an even bigger crowd tomorrow, witnessing what will blow their socks off. And qualifying this morning certainly did that, because a driver that we saw last year, he had a habit of picking up 4th places, but he certainly changed that, because this morning in qualifying, the number 32 red and white car of Robin Knudsen took his first ever pole position. But lining up alongside him on the grid, a legend of motorsport, a legend of Porsche, Jaap van Lagen. I'll try to say that right. Jaap van Lagen, there we go, second time lucky. He has a massive CV, including Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. He's won many times in that. He was second in the GT Masters Championship in 2014. He was the SP2 champion in the 24-hour series in 2017, and much, much more. He will be lining up alongside Robin Knudsen. And Robin, who is starting his 13th race. Well, it'll be probably a lot luckier, 13 for him, because he will be looking to improve on what has been a clutch of 3rd places. It's the highest he has scored in this championship, but he's in a great position. I should think the pressure will be on, though, because Jaap van Lagen, I had to look twice. It is his debut in this series. Certainly, we've seen him in so many other things, and if you follow Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, you'll certainly recognize that name. Also around them are several other drivers who are going to take the battle. There is Domas Radonis. He's in his 2nd season of Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux for Team GP Elite. And Domas Radonis, a 4th place at the season closer in Zolder, was his best. So if he can finish the race where he starts, it will be a best ever. But alongside him, a driver that we haven't seen for a while in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, guesting here this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, Bertrand Baguette, the only driver actually in the field who has won a race before. Yes, the very same Bertrand Baguette, the Super GT champion, who's here really enjoying himself. He's here to win. He's guesting here this weekend. He was last in Carrera Cup Benelux in 2023, where he took a win. Of course, he is the 2013 Le Mans 24-hour winner and World Endurance winner in LMP2. He's raced IndyCar, he's raced in the Indy 500, he's tested for Formula 1 as well, and he is a very, very welcome addition to the grid of Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, starting on the 2nd row. That's just the first 2 rows. There's a lot of talent behind them as well, as the cars now start on their formation lap, and our drone follows the cars up that steep climb, the 25% up to Radion and over the crest of the hill. Now, there are two words that I'm going to mention that will make those of you that follow this racing clutch your foreheads, and that is track limits. They will be an issue in this race. As we look at the grid, we've already talked about the first two rows. On the third row, keep an eye on Sam Yongyan. He has unsettled business in his second full season with Nick Ho, another real charger. But Jelter Hoffner making his debut here. He's guesting here this weekend. He is on pole position for the rookies. We have the overall championship for the pro drivers, we have a rookie championship, and we have a pro-am championship. And on debut, Jelter Hoffner is our leading rookie. A phenomenal job in qualifying. He's certainly someone who is on the ascendancy. As we see the rest of the field scrolling through, we'll try and highlight the drivers as this race and as this season progresses. But look at 18th, Jules Grau, the driver who came second in the Pro-Am Championship last year, another who has unfinished business, and he is on the Pro-Am pole in 18th place. The reigning champion, Yanni Kakea, in the Pro-Am category in 21st position. So Jules Grau very much looking to win the championship in the Pro-Am category. So the Pro-Am drivers are a minimum of 30 years old and not competed as a pro in any series during the past 5 years. They're also denoted by a blue number on the windscreen and a blue cross on the headlights. The rookie drivers are drivers who have not competed in more than 4 races in the Carrera Cup or Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup, no more than 24 years old. They have an orange cross on the headlights to denote them. So they're racing in the overall race, but they're also racing for their own individual championships as well. There's an awful lot of talent in the field here, and as we've seen many, many times before, drivers who come through this series and go on to great things. We saw An Cheng Nguyen winning his first race in the DTM a couple of weekends ago, and he came through Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux as a former champion. Maurice Schering, who won at the Le Mans 24-hour race last year. Luke Hartog, you'll recognize that name, who's had numerous wins and has featured heavily in Porsche North America as well. He was at the 12 Hours of Spa here last week, took a win in that. This is an amazing championship. It's not a training ground, it is very much a championship in its own right, but drivers who feature well in this capture the attention of sponsors, they capture the attention of other teams, and they go on to even greater things. And these drivers, some of them here, many of them here, making their debut in Porsche racing this weekend. We've seen a few of them in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe over the winter, but this is where the serious stuff really starts. And I would wager that sat in the seat of the pole position car, Robin Knutsen's heart will be beating very, very quickly indeed. He knows he has Jaap van Lagen, a massively experienced driver, alongside him. He knows he has Domas Radonis, a driver who would dearly love to get up into the lead of this race just behind him, and the legendary Bertrand Baguette on the second row, and a host of other cars all lined up behind, ready to take the spoils here at Spa-Francorchamps, because this is the 2025 season. Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux 2025 is go! Robin Knutsen out of the blocks, but look at Jaap van Lagen challenging on the outside into last source. Robin Knutsen's got that tight inside line. Will he give Jaap van Lagen the squeeze? The rest of the cars coming round into Eau Rouge. Knutsen's held off Jaap van Lagen at the moment, but he's going to have a slipstream up to Radion. Look at the challenges coming behind. Domas Radonis with Bertrand Baguette, the young Chargers, showing a clean pair of heels to the experienced pilots in every opportunity. There is Sam Yongyan in the green and black car, coming under pressure from Nick Ho along the Kemmel Straight. They come 3 abreast. Onto the grass goes. That's Niels Langeveld, another of the experienced drivers. 4 abreast into Les Combes. Somehow they all survive. Off the Kemmel Straight into Les Combes. There's a car going wide into the runoff area. They rejoin at the front of that pack. Nick Ho comes out on top. Jelter Hoffner, keep an eye on him. He does not back off at anybody in the red and white 919 car. Sam Yongyan, determined to get to the top of the championship this year in that green and black car. Such a talented driver. And Yongyan just fighting for every position. But what a start! Robin Knudsen, and there's Alex Ryman out wide. He somehow gathers it all together, rejoins alongside Thomas Cangro. Cangro has the inside line, but Alex Ryman keeping the momentum on the outside and still holds on to that position. Before the race started, I mentioned track limits. They've been very much an issue in free practice and in qualifying. The drivers must keep it between the white lines. Our race directors and our stewards may well show an element of tolerance on the opening lap, but now it gets serious. Now the cars fighting for position. They will not tolerate cars exceeding track limits. So, 30 minutes plus 1 lap of racing is what it's all about in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Each race short, sharp, an explosion of energy of Porsche cars as Sam Yongyan has Niels Langeveld for company. We saw these two cars fighting each other for the championship last year. In the background is Jelter Hoffner. So, Sam Yongyan in 7th place. Further fights for position, further back, that's Max Schlickenmeyer. Great to have him here on the grid as one of the rookies. Now towards last source once again. Alex Ryman trying to come back after that wild moment. Going wide, Alex Ryman and Thomas Cangro. Those are the two cars running together there. But our race leader at the moment looking for a first ever win. Robin Knudsen in car number 32, leading the way. He's got Jaap van Lagen behind him. There's Alex Ryman, Thomas Cangro. They've been fighting together so far in this race for that 12th place. So Sam Yongyan there as well, fighting for position. That's Mace Muller, a driver making his debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, locking it up to head into Le Combe, goes straight on into the runoff area. He's going to rejoin, but he's going to have issues. Those tyres will be flat spotted, and there will be vibrations running through the car. There's Yanni Kakea, the defending champion in the Pro-Am category, and this is wild, a wild ride for Frank Porte, who is making his debut in the number 22 car. Sam Yongyan there as well. So a great job from Frank Porte, who is leading the way, jumped to the front of the rookies. So a good job. So Jelter Hoffner dropping back. Frank Porte, who is leading the way in the rookies. While all that's been going on, he's in 6th place overall. A driver who is relatively inexperienced compared to those around him. Now fending off Sam Yongyan, the driver who did so much last year. Also there, Niels Langeveld in 10th place. So our rookie pole sitter, Jelter Hoffner, down in 9th place. Milan Marchak is there, rounding out the top 10 as well. So coming up to 5 minutes into the race, Robin Knudsen with it under control, but Jaap van Lagen just 9/10 back, maybe biding his time. But what an impressive run from Frank Porte, who is as well fending off Sam Yongyan in the 65 car. But as Yongyan challenges, Niels Langeveld ready to jump if he sees an opportunity. Langeveld, who is an experienced pilot in GT racing, challenge to the inside of Nick Ho. That's Domas Radonis, so this is for position. No, Jaap van Lagen, I beg your pardon. Jaap van Lagen in 2nd place, coming under pressure from Domas Radonis, the other of the yellow and black cars. Into Radion they come up the steep hill. We saw the potential from Domas Radonis last year in this championship, and now challenging a driver who has so much experience behind the wheel of a Porsche. In the background is Bertrand Baguette. This is allowing Robin Knudsen to break clear, because while they're fighting side by side, Domas Radonis to the outside, it's allowing Robin Knudsen just to break clear a little. This is for 2nd place in the race. Jaap van Lagen holding on from the young charger, Domas Radonis. And finally, Sam Yongyan has found a route past Frank Portehuis, so that is through into 6th place. Frank Portehuis there now with Niels Langeveld for company and challenging him for that position. So Portehuis on his debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, still doing a great job in 7th place. In the queue there, another of the young chargers is Jelte Hofner. Behind him is Milan Marchak in the 96 car. This is great stuff. This is why we love Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Sam Yongyan, 6th place. Nick Ho just ahead of him. Nick Ho, keep an eye on him in the 98 car. Then Bertrand Baguette ahead of him in that 4th place. But the fastest man on the track is Domas Radonis. That's indicated by the little graphic next to his name. Domas Radonis, his best finish so far in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux has been a 4th place at the end of the season last year. If the race finishes now, he'll finish on the podium. Our leading rookie is still Frank Portehuis in 7th place overall. Our leading Pro-Am driver, Henry Tuamala, we've not mentioned his name yet, in the number 23 car. He is the champion on the Pro-Am category in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. We saw him over the winter winning that championship. So we look again, Robin Knudsen doing exactly everything that he needed to do. He gave a little bit of a pinch to Jaap van Lagen. And Domas Radonis showing in that 2nd place now, having got past Jaap van Lagen. So Jaap van Lagen down into 3rd place. So the young chargers working their way past the experienced drivers. Robin Knudsen, who is coached by legendary driver Larry Tenforder, leading the way in this race for NGT Racing. Domas Radonis in 2nd place as we look again at a replay of that first lap. There's Jaap van Lagen under pressure. And boy, were they fighting for positions early on. That is Jelte Hofner taking a very wide line through Le Com. So it's another look at the start of the race. That was Alex Ryman. That was a Code Brown moment for him. He kept his foot buried on it. All credit there to Alex Ryman. And he may even have slightly spanked the fence as he went past, but he didn't back off, did he? So Alex Ryman is currently in 11th place, and that was that massive lockup for Mace Muller. And that tyre, particularly that left front, will look like a 50-pence piece. So our race leader, Robin Knudsen. So an incident involving 98 and 22. So Nick Ho and Frank Portehuis under investigation for an incident at turn 5. They are running out on track. Frank Portehuis in 7th place. As we look at Milan Marchak, another of the chargers, this time in Red Am Racing. He's come straight from karting. And Milan Marchak into the rookie category, one of the real future stars, 2nd in the rookie race. And there's a wild ride for Frank Portehuis going out wide. I would remind you, this is the debut. The driver who this time last year was driving a French Formula 4 car, finished 7th in the championship with a win and with podiums as well. So we're coming up to the 1/3 distance of this race. It's a 1.2-second lead for Robin Knudsen, looking for his first ever win in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. We're looking down at the bus stop as the rest of the cars come out onto the pit straight. Mace Muller in the number 13 car for PG Motorsport, another driver that made his debut in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe over the winter, finished 3rd in the rookies with 4 rookie podiums. And now stepping up to the big league, Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux in the sunshine at Spa-Francorchamps. What is not to love? Keep an eye though on 56. That is Alexandru Vateva, the Bulgarian driver, making her debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux here in 2025. Mace Muller, and there's Dan Van Koyk. That's a name we've not seen for a while. I think we last saw Dan Van Koyk here back in 2019, and he's back in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. But really nice to have Alexandra Vatova, and get the pronunciation right eventually. She's in 16th place at the moment, but looking very racy. Frank Porte-Huis in the 22 car with Milan Marchak for company. So this is for the lead of the rookie race. 8th and 9th place, but to remind you, the rookies are fighting amongst themselves for points in the rookie championship. So for first place in the rookie race, Frank Porte-Huis in the white, black and gold car. Milan Marchak just behind Jelte Höfner in the 96 car. He was the pole sitter for the rookies. A dramatic first lap saw him dropping back. We've had some warnings for track limits to a couple of cars, and they are Nikola Milkovic in car number 11 and Mace Muller. Both of them have had warnings for track limits. Also Alex Ryman, that might be something to do with that grass track racing that we saw. Also a warning to car 1447. I don't think we've got one with that number on it. Car 14 as well as Thomas De Backer, another of the guest drivers who's had a warning for track limits. So stewards now starting to take a closer look, and one of the cars under investigation is the number 13 of Mace Muller, and there's another lock-up there. The smoke pouring from the car out of the bus stop. So Alexandra Vatova now pulling to the outside. They're going to head towards La Source. I don't think Vatova's going to be able to go the long way round, or is she? Dan Van Koyk in the background, not close enough to pounce, but he is going to be in the way if Vatova wants to duck back to the inside. Out to La Source they come towards Eau Rouge. Alexandra Vatova flashing her headlights. Now the steep climb up to Radion. From Eau Rouge to Radion, they come over the blind crest once again, and out onto the Kemmel Straight, reaching speeds of around 265 kilometers an hour. That's Jules Grau in the number 77 car. Henry Tuamala still leading in the Pro-Am category, but Jules Grau has now got Nikola Milkovic between him and his main challenger in the Pro-Am race. Henry Tuamala making his debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux here at Spa-Francorchamps. But suddenly, if Jules Grau wanted to come and challenge Henry Tuamala, he's suddenly got Nikola Milkovic, who's got into the mix as well. Not in the Pro-Am race, but certainly going to be in the way from the perspective of Jules Grau. And the defending champion for the Pro-Ams is Yanni Kakea. We've lost Max Schlickenmeyer. He has pulled off into the pits, but we've still got Robin Knudsen leading the way as we approach the halfway point of the race, looking for his first ever win. Domas Radonis also looking for his first ever win. Alexandra Vatova in the number 56 car, challenging the number 13 car, Mace Muller, to try and get into the overall points, but also this is for position in the rookie championship, for 5th place in the rookie race. So they'll pick up points in the overall race and in the rookie race. But at the moment, Mace Muller looks to have Alexandra covered off, but we are not even at the halfway point of the race. Still plenty of time to go. Just coming up to 15.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining, the opening race of the season. Robin Knudsen, well, he thought that his big challenger in this race was going to be Jaap van Lagen, but Domas Radonis, both of these drivers looking for first ever wins in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, is closing in on him. So the gap, 0.644. There is Sam Yongyan in 6th place. He's closed in on Nick Ho. And we got problems there. That's Nikola Milkovic, who's got together, I think, with Dan Van Koyk, and there's damage to the number 11 car. This may well bring out a safety car. Let's have a look here. And that's that lockup that we saw earlier for Mace Muller. And in the background, the two cars getting together. So let's have another look here. So our eyes were looking at the lockup, and it was Milkovic who just lost the back end of the car going into the bus stop. And I think it's fair to say that Dan Van Koyk, probably an innocent bystander. Right, we've got yellow flags out. That's just at that corner. That's Dan Van Koyk just getting the car back to the pits, but his afternoon most certainly over. Now look at this for the lead of the race. Are we going to get away with that safety car? I think we might. We're past the halfway point of the race as Dan Van Kuijk, streaming plumes of blue smoke, peels off into the pit lane. But the battle is on for the lead of this race. Both of these drivers looking for debut wins. Both of these drivers looking for debut podiums. Robin Knudsen, Domas Radonis, Jaap van Lagen, Bertrand Baguette holding on to that 4th place. A fairly quiet race from him at the moment. Nick Ho, then behind him in 5th place, Sam Yongyan challenging for that position. There's Niels Langeveld in the background. Our leading rookie is still Frank Portehuis. Milan Marchak 2nd in the rookies. Jelte Hofner is 3rd in the rookies. Jules Grau is now leading the way in the Pro-Am. So while all that's been going on, Henry Tuamala has dropped to 3rd place. We've got a safety car. This is going to close the field right up. So safety car is out, and the cars are brought into single file. Strictly no overtaking. They're on Blanchimont at the moment, and that is why, because Nikola Milkovic, the driver who's come from European Clio Cup and TCR Racing, is stranded out on the track. Made that contact with Dan Van Kuijk, and both cars are now out of the race. So safety car is out. Let's have another look here. And Milkovic just losing the back end of the car and spearing off, also avoiding action. That's what's happened to Henry Tuamala. He had to take to the grass to avoid this, but he's kept his car out of the damage, and I have to say, Milkovic did a pretty sterling job at almost taking Henry Tuamala out as well. But Tuamala did survive, so that is how Jules Grau got into the lead. I have to say, if a photograph could tell a story, I think that particular one would tell many stories. We were looking at the lockup that was going on in front, but it was all kicking off behind. And there at the side of the track, Nikola Milkovic, we've lost. And of course, Dan Van Kuijk as well. So the car's weaving to keep the heat in the tyres. What they want is for the rubber to be up to temperature, so when they arrive at La Source under green flag conditions, when we do get back to green flags, they're going to have a bit of grip. And Robin Knudsen, well, he will be very aware that Domas Radonis is going to be right on his back bumper. It's going to take us maybe a few moments just to get the number 11 car removed. But I think that when this race gets back under green flag conditions, who knows what's going to happen. Jaap van Lagen, 3rd place. Bertrand Baguette in 4th. So, in the rookies, Frank Portehuis is 8th overall and leading in the rookies. Milan Marchak will be directly behind him. And keep an eye on the driver that was the pole sitter in the rookies, Jelte Hofner, because he is rapidly proving himself as a driver who takes no prisoners. And we chatted to him before the race started, and he said, look, I'm a guest driver. I'm not interested in points. I just want a trophy. And I think the drivers around him who are in a championship hunt will have that very much in mind, that maybe Jelte Hofner will not be looking at the bigger picture as Nikola Milkovic, the driver from Serbia for Spark Racing Team, looks on at the damage. Stewards will take a look at that after the race has finished, and we'll decide whether there's any further pain to be inflicted, as if there wasn't enough pain as it is with what has occurred. As we look at the cars around campus and Stavelot, I believe. And yeah, well, that's what it looks like behind the bumper of a Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. And a bit of work to be done by the Spark Racing Team. Great to have them making their debut here as well, here in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux this weekend. And not the debut that they were hoping. These cars that are all identical, there's no ABS, no traction control. This is all about raw talent. This is about real, proper racing. No BOPs, no driver changes or pit stops. That's proven because last year we had 6 different winners from 12 races. It's where the talent rises to the top, the cream rises to the surface, and that's what it's all about in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. And many of the drivers that I already mentioned who started in this wonderful series going on to greater things. The winner of this championship gets to be crowned the Dutch GT champion, and the driver who had that title last year, Dirk Schouten, racing this year full-time in Porsche Carrera Cup Italia and in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, and as already mentioned, finished in the rookie podium in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany just prior to the start of this race. Still, the driver that recorded the fastest lap prior to the safety car coming out was Domas Radonis. This is such a long lap for these cars. And I get the feeling, though, that the safety car may well be coming in very, very shortly. Now, are the lights on or not? Hard to say, in the glorious sunshine. Don't complain. The sunshine is shining at Spa-Francorchamps, and we are enjoying some amazing racing. There are the cars that are going to be fighting for the podium. Get the feeling that the podium is going to come, the 1, 2, 3 is going to come from that first four, although it's not to say that Nick Ho and Sam Yongyan might not be involved in the battle as well. Right, lights are still on the safety car. Cars are up at the moment at Pouon and round towards Fagna and towards Campus. So when the lights go off on the safety car, I get a feeling that will be any time soon. It will be the job of Robin Knudsen to back him up and then try and get the jump on Domas Radonis. Well, at the moment, the lights are still on. And, OK, now we're up at Campus and Stavelot. Lost much. Then heading towards Blanchimont. Right, now Robin Knudsen has backed them up. I've not seen any indication that myself that the safety car is coming in, but that does not mean that is not the case. I would say, yes, safety car has disappeared off into the distance. This is going to be exciting. Do not go anywhere. The opening race of Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux is set for an absolute thriller of a finish. Robin Knudsen, Domas Radonis, Jaap van Lagen, all looking for their first wins in this series. Now Robin Knudsen hits the accelerator. He's caught Domas Radonis napping slightly because Radonis has Jaap van Lagen for company in that third place. Look at Bertrand Baguette. So Jaap van Lagen, Bertrand Baguette, they are both drivers that are vastly experienced. They cannot overtake until they get to the start-finish line. Domas Radonis through the bus stop has now closed in on Robin Knudsen. Now all bets are off. They can fight for position. Knudsen in towards La Source, turn one. Under braking, Knudsen taking a nice tight line in, but look on the outside, Jaap van Lagen challenging for position. And behind we've got another spinner, Alex Ryman, Thomas Cangro getting together. They got collected, and Robin Knudsen in the lead. Domas Radonis fighting and challenging up towards Eau Rouge and into Radion, looking for the lead. Look at this, the first four absolutely glued together. Now along the Kemmel Straight in towards Les Combes. Domas Radonis has a little look to the outside of Robin Knudsen. Are we going to get another safety car? Domas Radonis looking to go the long way around Les Combes, but still Robin Knudsen with a nose in front. But Jaap van Lagen now looking to occupy the position. The first three places, Bertrand Baguette, all fighting. Domas Radonis to the outside. Robin Knudsen still cannot get his nose into the lead. Jaap van Lagen is ready to pounce. Also there, Bertrand Baguette, look at this, the first three cars, there's nothing between us, straight on, Yongyan into the barrier. This is almost certainly going to bring out a safety car. This could be the winner of the race, Bertrand Baguette, because Domas Radonis has been shuffled back into fourth place. That was a big impact for Sam Yongyan. Hopefully he's all okay, Sam Yongyan. Domas Radonis taking a wider line into the corner. Jaap van Lagen up into third place, Bertrand Baguette Baguette into third place. Jan van Lagen into second. Get that right. Domas Rodonis into fourth. Nick Ho's in there as well. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all running together. Less than 4.5 minutes remaining, but I think we're about to see a safety car. Robin Knudsen leading the way. He needs to hold on before any kind of caution comes out. Knudsen leading. Jan van Lagen second. Bertrand Baguette in third. Domas Rodonas after that challenge to the lead. There's a lockup in the background. Knudsen leading the way. Safety car is out with 4 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. There's every possibility that this race might not get back under green flag conditions. Oh boy, what a scrap for the lead. That was a big impact from Sam Yongyan. So we're just our thoughts with him and his team. Hopefully all is good there. There was just so much going on, too much to look at. There in the background there was contact, and the Tech Pro tyre barrier doing its job and absorbing the impact. So, right, sit down, have a drink. Are we going to get this back under green flag conditions? You've only got 3.25 minutes remaining. There is every possibility that this may not get back under green flag conditions. And there is Sam Yongyan. He will be so furious about that. He's come into this season very much as a championship favourite. Great to see him walking from the car. That is the priority, but he will be very frustrated. So we're looking at the battle of the fronts in the background, and there was a punt into Nick Ho from Niels Langeveld. Sam Yongyan just getting collected in all of that and a head first into the barrier. That was a hell of a jolt. So really good to see Sam Yongyan, an absolute championship challenger, but this is not how he saw his season starting. 2.5 minutes plus the 1 lap, and with the barrier damaged as well, I think there's every possibility this race may finish behind the safety car. Still weaving to keep the tyres, heat into the tyres. The race is still underway, so if a driver were to stop or to spin or whatever, they would lose those positions, but they cannot overtake clearly behind the safety car. So there we are at the moment into Lecombe. And I should think Robin Knudsen will be very happy if this race finished exactly as it is now. Time to take stock. Right, Milan Marchak in all of that has taken the lead in the rookies. There was so much going on. I'm going to need about 50 action replays here. Milan Marchak leads the rookie race. Niels Langeveld is there. He's not in the rookie championship, but in 7th overall. Jelte Hofner up into 2nd in the rookies. Frank Portehuis is 3rd in the rookies. Leading the way in the Pro-Ams, Jules Grau. Yannick Kakea, defending Pro-Am champion, 2nd. Henry Tuamala is 3rd. Oh, there's going to be some stories to tell once this lot is all dissected. So the cars are being instructed to use the shortcut at turn 9, what they call the motorcycle shortcut on the exit of what we like to call Speaker's Corner. So much to look at here. So if you look here, there's Langeveld, who gave a little punt to Nick Ho there, and then drifted wide. The back end of the car going into Sam Yongyan, and I have to say, Yongyan doing a good job keeping the car on all 4 wheels. We've seen similar incidents like that where the car's ended upside down. Hopefully, not too much damage to the car. Pleased to say, no damage to Sam, although I should think he's going to be decidedly grumpy about the start of his season going that way. The crew at Team Racer will get to work on that car, hopefully have that back together for the second race of the weekend, which takes place tomorrow morning. So they might be burning the midnight oil there. So the clock strikes 0. The cars, I think, are heading out towards Blanchimont at the moment. So once the clock strikes 0, it will be what remains of this lap and then 1 more. And here we are looking down at Blanchimont in towards the bus stop. So they will then start what will be the final lap of the race. And I suspect, well, the safety car is not going to come in on this lap, so the race is going to finish behind the safety car. Looking again at the restart of this race, Jaap van Lagen to the outside of Domas Radonis. I didn't even see Radonis drop down the order. And there was Alex Ryman getting together with Draker Janssen, I think that was, who got into him. Thomas Cangro, these are two drivers that have fought against each other. And that was at La Source, the scene of many a controversy. And that'll be one that will be analysed again as we confirmed on the final lap. Looking down from Radion. Safety car, lights flashing. Boy, what a start to the season this has been. Robin Knudsen, I just think his heart will still be racing because it ain't done until it's done. He's got to get it across the start-finish line. No issues now. Jaap van Lagen on his debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Bertrand Baguette, an awful lot of experience. I hate to think how many wins and championships there are between the two drivers in second and third place if you add them together. Domas Radonis, who was challenging for that lead. You just know it's not going to be long before he stands on the top step of the podium. And Nick Ho in fifth place. And with all that furore that went on, that saw Sam Yongyan spearing off into the fence, Milan Marchak coming out on top in the rookies. Niels Langeveld, and he was under investigation for the incident with Sam Yongyan. No surprises there. Jelte Hofner guesting here, but just bringing it home now for what will be a podium, second place podium for the rookies on debut. So into the closing stages of this final lap, a race that had everything. Boy, what a scrap we had for the lead. If this is just a sample of what we are going to expect this season in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, we are in for a treat. So the race will finish with the safety car procedure. It means that we won't get back under green flag conditions, but the safety car will disappear off into the distance. It means that Robin Knudsen, excuse me, cannot be overtaken. Oh dear, cannot be overtaken before the checkered flag, but the cars can cross the line without the safety car in front of them as we head along Blanchimont for the very last time and in towards the bus stop. Jaap van Lagen will come home in second place. Robin Knudsen will be dazed and confused after what has been an astonishing race. They head into the bus stop for the very last time. The opening race of the season, Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, a first ever win for Robin Knudsen. Jaap van Lagen in second place. Bertrand Baguette rounding out the podium. And Domas Radonis, Nick Ho, then Milan Marchak taking the win in the rookie category ahead of Niels Langeveld. Second in the rookies will be Jelte Hofner ahead of Frank Portehuis. And then the winner in the Pro-Am race will be Jules Grau ahead of Yannick Kakea and Henry Tuamala. The round of applause that ripples around, and the 96 car there. Milan Marchak keeping out of trouble, the Polish driver who was racing karts this time last year. And we saw how good he was in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Jules Grau came so close. Lost the Pro-Am Championship by a mere 5.5 points last year to Yannick Kakea, finishing ahead of him on the track. Kakea getting a good points haul, second place in the Pro-Ams. But there is the man of the moment, Robin Knudsen. Finally, his run of 4th places come to an end on his 13th race in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. So the drivers congratulating each other in the old school garages, and hopefully we will see them on the podium in a bit. Jules Grau, you wouldn't miss that one on a dark night, would you? A car that glows in the dark. So, as is always the way, very much subject to confirmation, Robin Knudsen taking his first ever win. Jaap van Lagen, Bertrand Baguette rounding out the top 3 ahead of Domas Radonis, Nick Ho and Milan Marchak. Winning for the rookies ahead of Niels Langeveld. Second in the rookies, Jelter Hoffner ahead of Frank Horte Huis and Thomas de Backer rounding out the top 10. Mace Muller, good solid drive from him ahead of Jules Grau, who wins for the Pro-Ams ahead of Alexandra Vatova. Good solid drive there to 13th ahead of Yanni Kakea, second in the Pro-Ams, and Henry Tuamala. Then it's Thomas Kangro, Sam Yongyan. We saw all of these drivers involved in incidents. Alex Ryman, also Drake Janssen, not recording a finish. Neither Dan Van Koyk, Nikola Mukovic or Max Schlickenmeyer. Right, let's have another look at some of the highlights, of which there were many. You might have to re-watch this one a few times. Robin Knudsen just doing everything right, positioning the car well. He knew he was going to get a challenge into that first corner from Jaap van Lagen, but he held it all together. Didn't allow the pressure to get to him, didn't drive with one eye on the mirrors. Domas Radonis was the man on a charge. He worked his way forwards from there as the rest of the cars kept steaming up over the hill. 3, and yes, you believe it, 4 abreast. Niels Langeveld, he's looked like a man possessed all afternoon, hasn't he? Under braking, Sam Yongyan just getting out of it there. Jelter Hoffner and Langeveld getting the elbows out there as well. It was Nick Ho who's on the receiving end of Niels Langeveld on that particular point. That was that massive lock-up for Mace Muller in the number 13 car. Frank Portehuis, a real baptism of fire there for him, going wheel to wheel with Sam Yongyan. Yongyan coming out on top in that particular battle. And Frank Portehuis going out wide onto the gravel, but showing no fear as he kept his foot buried on the accelerator. Alexandra Vatova, and there was Mace Muller having another lock-up. And then this is where it all started to kick off. Dan Van Koyk and also Nikola Mukovic. We got going again, and then we had the dramas. The lock-up from Drake Janssen, Alex Ryman and Thomas Kangro being the casualties. Then this was the big moment. Sam Yongyan spearing off into the tyre barrier. Dramatic moment. Niels Langeveld having that moment as well. And there was Sam Yongyan. The good news being that Sam is all okay, but very frustrating. It brought the safety car out, but it meant that Robin Knudsen was able to cross the line unchallenged from Jaap van Lagen and Bertrand Baguette, taking his first ever win in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. And Robin Knudsen moving himself, by dint of his win, to the top of the championship. So now we look on at the podium. The crowd here for the World Endurance Championship. There's a big crowd today. It'll be a massive crowd tomorrow. Looking on at the podium as we wait for the drivers, hopefully, to appear in just a few moments. Let's take a look at some highlights to music from the opening race of the season. I'll tell you what, there are some championships who don't have that much action in an entire season. In a half-hour race for Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, we have so much to talk about I've got a bit confused during that. There was so much going on. Brilliant, brilliant. This is why we love Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. And hey, guess what? We've got another 11 races of this season. I can hardly wait as we look down from Radion towards Eau Rouge and La Source. Again, we have a look at the result. And again, I just say to you, this is subject to confirmation. There were a number of track limits infringements, and just had a notification there will be a number investigated after the race. I didn't see numbers 32, 69 or 92 flashing up at any point, so I think it's reasonably safe to say, whatever safe is, that the 1, 2, 3 in the overall race looking pretty solid, I think, but I'm wondering whether the stewards might have something to say. They've certainly taken a much stricter view on track limits this year. They not allowing the drivers to get away with it like may have been the case in previous years. And that's what we want to see. We don't want to see drivers taking advantage by disappearing off the track and coming back on and gaining any kind of advantage at all. So these results still very much subject to confirmation. We lose quite a few cars. About 6 cars that were non-finishers in that. So a number of the teams are going to be working hard overnight to get the cars ready for the second race of the season, which takes place tomorrow. If you're interested, if your heart can cope with it, about 10:15 local time here in Belgium, tomorrow will be the second race of the season. Then we have a break till June, where we head to the banked circuits on the beach to Zandvoort, part of the DTM package. And then Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux heads to the Hungaroring in July. That'll be great, that will. In Budapest. Then the traditional visit to Assen for Jack's Racing Day in August, ahead of what sometimes is the season closer, not this year, Zolder, part of the Truck Grand Prix this year, 12th to the 14th of September. And then we return to Zandvoort again for the season closer, end of September, Trophy of the Dunes weekend, always a great weekend, and that is where the Dutch GT champion, the rookie champion, and the Pro-Am champion, and indeed the team champion, we haven't even mentioned the team champion yet, will be confirmed. It was Q1 Track Racing who won the team championship last year. Dirk Schouten won the overall championship. Yannick Kakea is the defending Pro-Am champion. Kobe Pauwels won the rookie championship, and it's been great to see him making great progress in other categories. And I've just looked out the window and seen the Sam Yongyan car just coming past on the back of a flatbed truck. It looks actually reasonably intact. I mean, it's hard to say because that was a big impact, and hopefully the tyre barriers did what they were meant to do, and there's nothing too major wrong with the number 65 car, certainly nothing visual. Medical car has just gone past as well, and I expect that Sam will be required to just have a check over at the medical centre, because we always need to make sure that everybody is well and safe after a race like that. The fastest lap of the race actually went to Domas Radonis, and he finished in 4th. But hey, you cannot knock him for trying, can you? Domas Radonis came so close to taking the lead of the race. But Robin Knudsen, or whatever Larry Tenforder is telling him, it's working, because he just kept his head. And I've said this to a lot of drivers this year that we've been talking to, just the mental game is such a big part of it. The drivers train, they're physically fit, they're nutritionally good, the cars are quick. But so often the difference is the mental game. It's holding the concentration, not allowing yourself to be put under pressure, not looking in the mirror as much as looking ahead. And the mental game, always a big issue for these drivers. And I just feel with Robin Knudsen, it just feels as though he's looking more chilled. He did 8 races last year in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. He had 4 thirds, so 50% of the races he finished in 3rd place. The year before, Robin Knutsen was also in Porsche Carrera Cup. Well, he did 4 races for Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. His best finish there was a 5th place. We've seen him this year in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. He did 4 races there. His best was a 6th place. He was in Sprint Challenge Southern Europe last year as well. His best was a 3rd place there. So he's been there or thereabouts. He's come from Porsche Carrera Cup Scandinavia originally. And the Swedish driver really suddenly looking very much at home in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux this season. Hopefully he's going to do a full season. He's leading the championship, so he needs to, doesn't he? So, yeah, that's really, really good. Jaap van Lagen, I've already mentioned him. It's hard to believe this is his debut in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, because he has won so many races in other categories over the years, as is the case for Bertrand Baguette. And Bertrand, who is guesting here this weekend, he's not doing a full season that I'm aware of, but the Belgian driver for D'Ieteren Luxury Performance, the long time in Super GT, of course the 2022 champion in Super GT. And as already mentioned, we have seen his name in IndyCar as well as many other things, including Le Mans and World Endurance Championship, where he has won. So very, very good driver indeed. There is an understatement of the century. Domas Radonis is going to have to wait just a little bit longer for that first ever podium in the overall race. And he did take the podium in the rookies, of course, last season, but not in the overall race. The rookies in this one, Milan Marchak. We've been watching his progress over the Sprint Challenge, Southern Europe over the winter, and a win in the rookies. Well, there is laying out the stall, isn't he? Jelte Hofner. It's a real shame. He's 2nd in the rookies. It's a real shame that he's only guesting here this weekend, because we would love to see a bit more of him. Right, I think we're going to see some drivers. Enough of my waffling. Let's see. We're going in reverse order. The legendary Bertrand Baguette onto the 3rd step of the podium. Made it very clear he's here to enjoy himself. Jaap van Lagen, super guy. Doing a lot of teaching for Jelte Hofner, by the way. But taking his first ever win in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, ladies and gentlemen, Robin Knutsen. I think that one is going to take a bit of time to sink in for Robin Knutsen. The Swedish national anthem echoing around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Bertrand Baguette looks like he's had fun, doesn't he? In 3rd place, Jaap van Lagen. I actually think he's probably got a warehouse, the number of trophies he's got. The same for Bertrand Baguette as well. But the trophy that Robin Knutsen is about to receive is going to mean an awful lot. Let's see if they can find it. They're at the back looking for it at the moment, I think. He's like, where's my trophy? Oh, here it is. This trophy, the first in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux for Robin Knutsen for the overall race, and it's going to be for a race win, and of course a trophy for NGT Racing as well, who clearly know how to prepare a car. Great trophy that is as well. They pose for the photos, but that trophy that Robin Knutsen is clutching will be one that he will look at, and he will remember this day for a very long time to come. The 9th of May 2025 was the day that Robin Knutsen became a race winner in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. So the podium clears. I'm wondering if we're going to get Listen, I'm hearing that we might well get the other podiums as well, so this is a bonus. And it's, apart from anything else, it's really nice to actually see the drivers who have done the winning and to enjoy their moment with them. So it'll either be the Pro-Ams or the rookies. Maybe one of the two. So, wait with trembling anticipation. Oh, we're going rookies. So Frank Porte-Ruiz, third place in the rookies. Boy, was he in the wars during that race. No, mate, that one. There you go. I think we might be seeing a bit more of him on the podium as this season progresses. Jelter Hoffner guesting and debuting, but to the top step, it's Milan Marchak.
Congratulations, Milan Marchak, the winner in the rookie classification. The trophy is now.
Well, if somebody had told me to hum the Polish national anthem, I wouldn't know where to start. But hey, you know now, don't you? Milan Marchak taking that position. So third place to Frank Porte-Ruiz, the driver from Andorra. I was going to say, when did you last see a drive from Andorra? I think Jules Gounon would have something to say about that. And Jelter Hoffner, one of the many Dutch drivers. So they pose for photos as well. So Jelter Hoffner has a reputation of posing for selfies on the podium. The reputation continues. Check out his Instagram, because that photo will be there within the hour. To go with the selfies that he took on the podium for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe and many others. There's a one-handed celebration, clutching the trophy like a precious child. Some muted celebrations as they head off. Don't get the overalls too sticky. You've got to wear them again tomorrow. And hopefully we can get the Pro-Am drivers out onto the podium as well.
This first race of the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, the Pro-Am classification, with the third place, troisième position.
So third place, Henry Tuomala. Second place, Yanni Kakea, the defending champion with the funky shades. What a great image that is. But Jules Grau taking the top step of the podium for the Pro-Ams. There we go, that was the short version. We've heard the Dutch theme tune just a few times. The national theme tune, national anthem. They fade that one out. Right, Henry Tuomala. I said it earlier. He is the Pro-Am champion. Just won that in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe over the winter. Yanni Kakea. He's got his work cut out as he defends that Pro-Am championship. Jules Grau with unfinished business. Those really are magnificent trophies, aren't they? Squeeze in, take the photo. And the celebrations start. The torpedo of champagne goes flying into the air. He's emptied the bottle already. And exit stage right. What a start to Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux 2025. It's the 13th season. It's looking like it could be the most dramatic of all seasons. Join us tomorrow, 10:15 local time, for race 2.